So this week's topic in Series 2, Episode 4 is about retrospectives and how you can use those to inspect and adapt. Now, even if you do not consider yourselves to be using one of the Agile frameworks or methodologies, this is still a technique that could bring a lot of value to your team. So the concept of a retrospective is exactly what it sounds. You're retrospecting, you're looking back on a period of time and you're seeing how that period of time went. So for example, one of the techniques that they teach in the different Agile classes that use retrospectives is using the method of what went well, what could we have done better. The problem is with this is we do what we did well, what we could have done better, and if we don't have someone facilitating that conversation, it becomes a bit of a bitch fest. So it's really important to have that facilitation and make sure that we don't just make a laundry list of things we did well and a laundry list of things that we could have done better, but that we have actions that come out of that. So what did we do well? Those are moments we should be celebrating and praising. And we should see an evolution over time. The things that we are doing well become more and more complex. So for example, a new team that is using iterative development or iterative product creation that starts doing retrospectives, they may see things in the what could they have done well that are more administrative in nature. We closed out all of our tasks, basic things like that, because they're very early in their development stage. But as a team evolves and grows together, those accomplishments should become more complex. They should be more intertwined with collaboration, reaching goals, and the evolution of the team. Now, on the what we could have done better, we want to see the same evolution. We want to see the same progress, where in the very beginning, the what we could have done better, it could be quite a long list because the team is still learning how to work together. So it could be anywhere from we need to learn to communicate better, we need to update our tickets better if you're using, the Jira system, for example, or some other, virtual tracking system. We need to add notes, we need to make sure we're closing out our items, those are very basic things. And over time, the things that you could have done better are also going to be more complex in nature, and they're going to take perhaps some help of a facilitator to unravel them. But if the team stops at just what we did well and what we could have done better, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, the teams are going to get really, really bored with this whole process, and they're going to wonder why they have to do it and what value it brings. Number two, you're just making lists of things for the sake of making lists of things, and that meeting has no purpose. That event doesn't bring any value to the team. So make sure that you have the third element. And that third element is taking a look at what we did well, what we could have done better. So that's the inspection part of things. And then have a plan to adapt. So from the things that you could have done better, what do you want to focus on in the next iterative cycle? So if a team is very young in their maturity and they have things on the what we could have done better, such as update all of our user stories or update all of our tasks, then the action that needs to come out of that is not just we're going to do a better job at updating our tasks, but a discussion about what's preventing the team from doing it now and how are they going to monitor themselves during the iterative cycle to make sure that they reach their goal of doing better at this. And we're not going to strive for 100% perfection. We're going to continue to inspect and adapt as each thing comes up. So to just say, well, we need to be better at updating our tasks so that other people know what's happening is not enough. Sit down with the team and have a plan. And this is where someone facilitating this session is very helpful, because that person, a coach, for example, can guide the team through the conversation of inspecting and help them come up with a plan to adapt. And one of the things that I like to do is make sure that we hear everyone on the team. So you've heard me talk about this before in other sessions, making sure we give everyone a voice. Sometimes it's really difficult. In fact, I would say a lot of the time, it's really difficult for people to speak up if they feel like what they're going to say is controversial or could potentially hurt someone's feelings. Nobody likes to say something that's lobbing a grenade into the crowd and upsets everybody. That's a very uncomfortable place to be. So we need to provide a mechanism for people to have voices. Now, in a previous session, I talked about the activity 1, 2, 4, all from Liberating Structures. That's one way that you could do your retrospective. You can let people come up with their own lists in advance of the meeting and then pair up to groups of 4 and then go to all. And if you don't want the all to be a verbal exercise, there are a lot of tools like funretro.io out there where you can have people enter the information in a collaborative space. And I like the tools where not only are you entering the information, but then people can vote. So in that particular tool, you can control the number of votes that people you have. You can say everybody gets 5 votes or 6 votes or whatever you want to give them. And they can go in and upvote the items that they agree with. And then you can arrange them in priority order. And you can do that with both the what we did well, so that everybody can see what rose to the top. What did everybody give a shout out for that we really did well and we want to celebrate, and then plan to celebrate that. And for the things that you could have done better, that gives you a sense of where the pain points are for the majority of the people on the team. And then those are the items as a facilitator that you want to help them construct their adaptations. How are they going to improve on those items? I also like to use kudos. So if there are certain items that rise to the top in the what we could have done or what we did well, give the team an opportunity to post kudos. So instead of what we did well and what we could have done better being a 2-column linear activity, it becomes a 4-pronged activity of what did we do well? Who are we going to give shout outs to? The whole team. Maybe it's people outside of the team that helped reach the goal. What could we have done better? And of those things, what rose to the top that we want to work on focusing in the future? So it becomes more of a holistic approach that has a beginning and an end. Because when you do your next retrospective, the first thing you're going to want to do as an activity is not jump straight into those 4 columns again. It's to go back and look at, we committed to improving on these particular items. How did that go? Where are we in that evolution? Did we improve? And if you improved truly, when you do the first part of the exercise for the next retrospective in what we did well, you should start to see those items that came out of your inspect and adapt list show up in the what we did well. So if one of your goals was to improve pair programming, for example, where 2 people work together on the same item instead of somebody going on it by themselves, then I would expect to see what we did well, some signs of improvement on that area. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody, that we don't want to just do this little soldier routine of we have to do a retrospective because the Scrum Guide says we do a retrospective, and it not bring any value. And you all know, every conversation you have with me, I talk about bringing value because that is critical to success. So by changing what we do, we constantly are improving. We have that continuous evolution of improvement, and a retrospective becomes a really valuable tool in how we evolve as a team. So hopefully everybody found that useful. We could probably do another whole session, and if this is something that's interesting, maybe I'll write about it in a blog or put it on LinkedIn, about different activities that you can do during a retrospective to keep ensuring that continuous improvement and that it doesn't become dull and boring. So if that is interesting for an ongoing topic, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll find a way to bring that about to all of you in one of our other sessions or formats. As a reminder, we do this every week. So next week's topic, we're going to start talking about how we capture some of the things that come out of Inspect and Adapt that are changes, how we capture ideas from the team for change in season 2, live number 5. And as always, in between now and then, keep up with me on LinkedIn, connect with us on Instagram and Facebook as well, and I will see everybody back here, same time, same channel, next week, next Tuesday. So thank you everybody, and have a great afternoon.